Well, a warm welcome to one of the premier stops on the World Athletics Continental Tour, the meeting the Sotteville Le Run here in the heart of Normandy, France. It's great weather, it's overcast. The mid-distance, long-distance runners will enjoy that. Sprinters perhaps would like it a little warmer. We've got 17 degrees at the moment, 10-ish mile per hour winds as well. But we gather here at the Gina Drat Stadium where history will hopefully continue to be written. Since its inception, this meeting has been a proud stage for the rising stars and seasons champions, and some of those meet records highlight that. Robles, Olympic champion, holds that 110-meter hurdle meet record, and in 2025 we hope will be no different. We have some many Olympic champions, medalists, and world indoor champions as well. Julie Bonin on offer here on display later this afternoon, and on top of that we have Devon Charlton, the world record holder herself, over the 60-meter hurdle. She goes in 100 hurdles. We'll look to try and better Amusan's meet record of 12:49. There you are. Look, you can see the weather forecast there. So, yep, thankfully no rain due, hopefully, but 19 degrees, 11 kilometers an hour wind. So that's calming down throughout the afternoon. And, well, let's look ahead to some more of the action. What else is on offer this afternoon? In the 100, we have 4 men, sub 10 seconds in town. Asime Amidazi of Great Britain, Jerome Blake of Canada, and Ajayi as well. Here you can see the timetable and when those speedsters, those sprinters, will be lining up in their blocks. So that men's 100 is going to be absolutely incredible. Jimmy Vuku also goes in it, European record holder when he's at his best. 200-meter crowd will crown off the evening. Wade van Niekerk will headline that event, but he'll be run close with the NCAA silver medalist Haka Charamba will go in that one as well. And in the men's 800, 9 have broken 145, with Ben Patterson leading the line with his world bronze and 142 from last year in Monaco. Of course, that world medal from 2023. Can he get back on the podium in 2025? And I mentioned Julie Bonin in the pole vault, the world champion, the world indoor champion, back in the pole vault. She PB'd here last year. Will tonight bring the same performance. But meanwhile, the men's javelin is underway, and they're into the 5th, possibly the 6th round now. Been keeping an eye on it throughout the afternoon into the early evening. And, well, it's the Pole, Cyprian Mushklod, who leads the way, 85.62. We've already seen a meet record from him. That's a good throw there, though, because that looks to be beyond that 75-meter line. The man in second in is Gudmundsson of Iceland here, Sindri Gudmundsson, 79.17. He finished up the competition with, I believe that'll be this throw here, so launches this one out high. Gudmundsson getting that. That was that 79-meter throw. Good enough for second place. The Icelandic international, great to see him in town, and that's quite close to his lifetime best and very, very close to his season's best set in Tucson in May, the national record holder for Iceland. And here he is in the pole, winning throw, launched it out. It came early in the competition, by the way, and decided not to go on, but 85.62, great to see that meet record go down of Niraj Chopra. How about that? From 2018, the Indian star actually had his own meeting just a couple of days ago, the Chopra Classic, the inaugural Chopra Classic. He won, of course, beating a world-class field, though, 86.16. That was over in India. For now, we will focus on Sotteville here as we introduce some of the people responsible for this meeting. You can see them trackside. So that men's javelin competition is over, but here we are then, the women's pole vault competition. And are we seeing a late scratch? Is there another page? Just getting these started. Thankfully there is. There we are. Marie-Julie Bonin, the world indoor champion. What a performance that was. And it was an indoor season like no other for her, really. I mean, just got better and better. I think she hit 3 PBs in the space of an indoor season, and all of that culminating at that World Indoor Championships. And 475 had to turn up on the day to produce her best, and she did just that. And pole vault is one of those events where you can get lucky. Perhaps luck is the wrong word, but there was 4 women in it right to the wire, and it went back to count back as well. But Julie Bonin coming out on top. So there's just a few others in this field. Gemma Tutton, just 20 years of age, studying at Duke University, 5th at those Europe team champs European team champs just over a week ago now. Quite a few of these athletes at this meeting today did compete in Madrid. That was where the Premier Division was held. Of course, there's a Division 2 and a Division 3 as well. We saw Goodmanson, actually, the Icelandic man in the javelin, get second. He also competed as European team champs in that lower division. Iceland gained promotion, though, for those of you interested in the European team championships. Berenice Petit then, 450, her lifetime best set this year as well. So comes into this in great form. It is a strong French field, as you would expect. Alexis Dehaene, lifetime best just a few days ago, actually. 453 from the 4th of July, so just pre the weekend. She comes in, competing for the little club. Third in Nancy on the weekend. McTaggart, 6th at the World Championships in 2022. Still looking to get back to that form, really. She was the world leader for a little while. But here she is then. The lady of the hour, the lady of the meet, the headline athlete, if you like. Marie-Julie Bonin of France, world indoor champion, national record holder indoors as well. 3rd at the European Championships indoors. Not often you see it that way round. Not often you see a bronze at the Europeans and then a gold at the Worlds. Perhaps it's more likely you see a bronze at the Worlds and a gold at the Europeans. But it was incredible, incredible competition. And, of course, Olympic finalists, you could say it was coming. Well, here's the head-to-head then. You can see ages and their height there, very, very similar. That's a great graphic. You get to see a few more of those in our sport. So you can see the wind is just whistling down there, up on the bar, and it's obviously going to be a lot windier for those 4.5 meters up in the air for these pole vault women. And this competition about to get underway, due off at 8 o'clock exactly, so they're going to start warming up, 8 o'clock local time. They're going to start warming up. First track event, by the way, will be the women's 400-meter hurdles. Look at that world record of Yasin Bayeva, still untouched from 2009. I believe that was at the Wet Class Zurich meeting. Quite incredible. And that French national record, 475, Nino Chappelle, of course, equaled indoors by Benin, but she would love to get that mark outdoors as well, wouldn't she? Love to go beyond it. 476 is the meet record of Sandy Morris, so we'll be looking ahead to that. So the women's 400-meter hurdle field then in one. Matatumba there, just 19 years of age, broke the national under-20 record 3 times last year. Great to see her, but we'll go from the outside in then. Sartori there on the outside. Rebecca Sartori of Italy, Olympic semi-finalist, second here in 2024. National record from Rome at those European Championships, those home championships for her. Emma Montoya then, 56.35, her lifetime best. PB and a win just last month, so actually comes into this in pretty good form. Can she kick on from there? She's going to need to in this field, I can tell you that. 2-time Finland national champion here, Kristina Holonen. Ran her 55.32 up at altitude, actually in Nairobi. 6th at those European team champs, shall I say, just a couple of weeks ago. Oliveri then, Tokyo Olympian back in 2021, 54.99, her lifetime best. She's come close this year, 3rd at the national championships last year. Can she better that once again? Well, for me, this is the standout favourite, Diallo. Fatimata Binta Diallo of Portugal. Ran a massive PB in the 400-meter flat as well, 53.05. Quite a small conversion for her, but she's in great form. 4 times Portuguese national champion. Anna Grajkdin of Poland knocked a 2nd off her lifetime best already this year. Continue to just impress. Not easy to do that at this level. Perhaps a little bit of rain in the air, actually. The track looking a little damp. Might just be the camera angle here. Ngunu. Great to see her, the Cameroon athlete, 2 times national record in Paris in that Olympic Games in both the heats and the semi-finals. She turned up on the big occasion there, Ngunu, 55.09. Needs to get back to that. And Tumba right on the inside then, just 19 years of age. World Junior Champion last year is Tumba though, so watch out for her. That title is not easy to come by, and often those who can medal at the World Junior Championships do have a bright, bright future. Considering you can well be, especially in an event like the 4 hurdles, you can be near enough at your best. You look at the like of Sydney McLaughlin-Lavergne, what she was doing at 16, 17, 18 years of age, making Olympic finals. So there's Diallo then. She goes in 4 in the red. On the inside, Tumba, that World Junior Champion from last year. Ngunu in 2, Greik in 3, Diallo, Oliveri in 5, Halonen of Finland in 6, Montoya of France in 7, and Sartori right on the outside. So a fantastic crowd for them to run by on this bottom bend. This women's 400-meter hurdles is off and underway, and Diallo already making up the stagger onto Oliveri on her outside. You can see, and the rest of them as well. Starting pretty well as Halonen, but Montoya on the outside, leaving herself a lot to do. Sartori, I believe, in lane 8 is the one challenging Diallo at the moment as they get 200 meters halfway through this race already. But the Portuguese star is the one to watch, the 4 times national champion. She's there in the red. Tumba, the promising French rising star on the inside, is in a good, strong position as that stagger unwinds. So the Italian on the outside versus the Portuguese. It's a tight turn for the Italian. So close, isn't she, to the crowd there. But no one is getting on terms with Diallo. If she holds it together this last 50, she's going to take it. No questions asked. A lifetime best over the 400 already this year. What can she do over the 4 hurdles here? Watch the clock. 55:30 unofficially. So a strong performance from her. Won't be a season's best, won't be a lifetime best, but the win was important. And I think Sartori right on the outside just forced Diallo to perhaps go a little swiftly through that opening 200. Didn't look totally comfortable. I mean, when do you ever in a 400-meter hurdle race that last 50? But could have, I've seen her look stronger in the last 50 of her 4 hurdles, and you could see it sort of hurdle 9 just coming off the straight was faltering a little bit, and I think that was her eagerness just to get on terms with Sartori, who herself fell apart a little bit that last 120. She was so aggressive, running scared on those outside lanes, aren't you? It takes quite a bit of experience to judge it well. She still had a great performance, Sartori, season's best for her. So coming into form just at the right time. Well, great win from the Portuguese star, and that's 2 wins in pretty much a weekend for her, in a week's period, shall I say. One in the European Team Champs in Madrid, 9 days ago now, and then comes here, turns up in Sotteville, and gets the win. So she's in great form, and you can't knock an athlete who just keeps on winning. And the PB bell then. Oh, that's the lap bell. Perhaps it's the wrong one. Awfully confusing, isn't it? As she continues. There she is. She finds the PB bell, which is great to hear ringing. I mean, it was a first, really, wasn't it, at the Olympic Games last year in Paris. The French invented it, and long may it continue. It's a great addition to track and field meetings around the world. And good to see a trackside there. So not quite a PB, shall I say, a win bell. I think it was a gold medal bell, wasn't it, in Paris? I do apologize. So this women's pole vault competition. Failure there. That's unfortunate for Margot Chevrier. 4:03, early height for her. She is an athlete capable of more than that. Gemma Tutton will be next to vault for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Tutton with a lifetime best of 4:45. I mentioned studying out at Duke University. However, we're going to see Cheveri take this on again. Perhaps no one's entering the competition yet. Certainly looks that way. Cheveri, oh, just catching that weirdly with her trail leg, and it's a strange thing to say in a pole vault because both feet should be as close together as possible, but just seem to get a little bit disconnected in the air there, a little bit out of sorts, and yeah, that trail leg, if you like, seems to just come down on it. There's Tutton warming up. She's going to be next to vault. You can see already cleared 4:03 actually. It's popped up on the graphic there, left of picture. So backing away the hurdles. Next track event will be off at 8:15, and that will be a women's 100 meters ambulance race. Got a full field in it as well, so looking forward to seeing that unfold. We have also to follow that will be the men's 100 ambulance final, and then of course we have that men's 100, and we then move to the men's 800 as well. So plenty to look forward to in quite a short window, 2 hours or so. And this World Athletics Silver Label Tour, and it's just fantastic. 5,500 people set to pack this arena throughout the evening. And these are the meets that you just got to love as an athletics fan, especially when you're there on the rail. You can get so close to the athletes, so close to seeing the stars. And I can mention we've got world record holders, world champions, Olympic medalists, world medalists. It's fantastic, the stars on offer here. It doesn't get much better than this unless you are at a Diamond League itself. So the third and final attempt for Cheveri here, Margot Cheveri. And she goes clear, thankfully. Made hard work of it, but good clearance, and she will remain in the competition. And what better way to do it with the crowd high up on this home straight. You can see him, it's a full house here in Sotteville. And they would have got a great view of that. Puff of the cheeks. She has found it a little difficult, but sometimes that first vault is the hardest. Then you find your rhythm. The pressure's off now. Everything's a bonus from here. She can just focus on competing. I think sometimes when you vault these heights that you expect to do, when it doesn't quite click, it can just unnerve an athlete a little bit. So some others who are going to attack this bar. You can see that bar going straight up to 4:23 now. Si on regarde son bassin est au-dessus de 4,23. Donc c'est aussi ça, mentalement, c'est aussi ça qui va lui permettre de passer. Which is a big jump, and I think that's why Margot Cheveri was delighted to clear 4:03, because 4:23 is going to be a tough challenge for her. But this competition accelerating pretty quickly. We'll see the introduction of some of the big guns, perhaps McTaggart and Bonin. Well, we'll probably have to wait a little longer to see them. I feel like this is a kind of meet. Bonin is going to look at that meet record for one of Sandy Morris. I mean, in 2017, she was quite simply one of the best vaulters in the world through that period. She was simply dominant, and you know, it's a record that she knows when she's at her best she can break. Wouldn't it give some entertainment to this crowd as well? They thoroughly enjoy that. You can see many of them wearing their sort of coats. It is a little bit nippy, isn't it, down there? So here we are, the women's ambulance 100-meter final. It's an all-French field, which is great to see. And just great to see some of these power events taking place, actually. Of course, off the back of that 2024 Olympic Games and Paralympic Games. Some of these athletes would have been stars and starting to become household names, giving them the opportunity here. So here are Fanny Dubreuil there, and alongside her, Mukita. So Mukita goes in for Rahel here, will go in 5. Fontaine, big smile on her face, brilliant. This is what it means to athletes to compete here in front of a home crowd. And Leah Marie. She'll go in 7. Lortie there. This is Leah Marie, apologies. She goes in 7, and then on the outside here, Laura Rahel. Borio on the outside. So the women's power 100. Ready to go. Polizek on the inside. Debru, Kita, Leune, Lortie, Marie, and Rahel. A full field. Huge opportunity for many of these women. And this is what it's about, getting a taste for competing in front of this crowd. Many of these, I'm sure, would have watched that Paralympic Games and be inspired. And we'll look ahead. And already it feels like we're not too far away from LA 2028, are we? We're certainly in that Olympic cycle. We know we got a World Championships to focus on this year.
Exactement, il y a leur accompagnatrice ou leur accompagnant qui peut être avec elle parce que parfois ça peut être aussi des handicaps type comme l'autisme et donc là on sort vraiment.
So doing their best to keep warm. I must admit we would like it perhaps a little warmer for some of these sprinters to really get the best out of themselves. Margot Chevrier then 4:23 first attempt. It's a big increase on where she struggled at 4:03 and she will not be close at 4:23 either.
Allez, il restera 2 tentatives à Margot Chevrier pour aller franchir, dompter cette barre à 4 mètres.
However, good experience for her.
Déjà le 4e essai de la soirée.
French start.
Mais si elle le réalise, ce serait son season best. Donc ça voudrait dire qu'elle ne fait que progresser.
Allez, on va suivre ça bien sûr avec donc le 100
So it is that point in the season where, I mean, where this meeting is very interesting. You look at some of those world standards and there's a few events where very, very few athletes have actually hit the world standards. And it's meetings like this, these silver labels, where there are big world ranking points on offer. And we're certainly going to see that in the women's triple jump. I think only 4 women have hit that world standard in the triple jump.
Bien sûr, c'est extrêmement important.
Talking of world ranking points, great opportunity for some of these women's.
Le public, le stress.
Ambulance 100 meters about to get underway. And off they go. Then you can see some of them choosing to do a ground start, some upright. But this is Kita and Berea on the outside. Berea then flying away from the rest of the field. Umana Kuta is in 2nd place there. It's going to be Berea. Wow, what a performance that was. 14:38. The rest of them file in behind. Coming across the line then, Kita was 2nd. No doubt about that. Just couldn't get on terms with Berea, could they? What a performance. It certainly looked like Umu Kita there in the pink who got 2nd place. We'll have to get full confirmation who got 3rd as well.
Franchement, c'est magnifique qu'elle puisse vivre des moments comme ça avec le public Sotteville.
Tout à fait. Et le public, bien sûr, qui applaudit chaleureusement les 8 participantes de
Leah Marie.
100 mètres sport adapté.
Great running from her as well.
Le 100 mètres messieurs également dans quelques instants, toujours en sport.
Brilliant to see them all congratulate one another. And I'm sure they'll share many races together in the future. And hopefully we'll see a few of them back in next year. I mean, surely we're going to see Berry there. That was a fine, fine victory from her. Ring that bell, that champion belt.
Oui, pardon, c'est Vario, comme on disait, il y a eu un échange au niveau du coup.
What a result that was.
Qui retentit.
Génial, super. Voilà pour ce 100 mètres.
And we hope that performance will be a bit of a catalyst for the rest of her summer season as well.
Et les garçons vont pouvoir également s'exprimer dans quelques instants. En attendant, on va certainement revenir sur le concours de perche.
So back to this women's pole vault. Elise Russi, 4:40, her lifetime best. That was last year. 4:36, her season's best this year. Here she is, obviously passed at 4:03. What can she do at 4:22? Be a big confidence boost if she can go clear on that first attempt.
La 3e des championnats de France.
et qui est du stade Sotteville. Voilà pourquoi la
So
sécurité.
Rusty, good speed on the runway. They will have a following wind, these pole vaulters. Just clipping it there with the shins on the way up. Looks like the height won't be a problem. And you can see there, yeah, just giving it a little bit of a brush down. Height won't be a problem. However, just needs to sort out that takeoff and just give herself a little bit more room to get up over that bar. I think that's exactly what the coach will be saying there, trackside. Quite a unique stadium, this one, on the home straight. You can see the crowd, they'll be packed in high, up above the home straight. Coaches and athlete support staff will be down on the railings, right up close to the athletes, but it does mean that those spectating get an awesome view of the home straight, and especially of this women's pole vault. Berenice Petit, then, one of the stronger French pole vault stars there is. Consistently challenging at those French championships as well. She would have been inspired by the likes of Marie-Julie Bonin. I mean, the improvement in just 12 months from Bonin is fantastic. And I think that will inspire a lot of other French vaulters. Just, similar then to Russi. Just clipping that on the way up. Not to panic though, you often see it with pole vaulters, they just feel out the pole and feel out that takeoff and learn and just take in a lot of information through that first attempt before they go again on that second attempt and really correct things. And it often takes them a jump or a vault or two to figure it out a bit. And yeah, you can see she's going to change poles. She's going to go for perhaps a slightly bigger pole there in that next vault.
Parfois il faut 1, 2 essais, parfois même on vient malheureusement pour rien parce qu'on n'a pas réussi
à
trouver les réglages et donc ça c'est la grosse frustration. Mais voilà, on espère que nos athlètes françaises vont réussir à très vite se régler.
Very similar in performance to the likes of Petit. We just saw a lifetime best just coming a few days ago, 4:53. A member of that little club, here she goes, 4:23. Well within her, however, not on that occasion. Falling very, very short of the bar there. Almost falling down in the middle, but there you can see there's the wind gauge, and that would highlight a small tailwind and perhaps just throwing these vaulters off a little bit. So 4:23 proving a little bit problematic for some of the athletes in this first round. Of course, we haven't seen the big hitters. We won't see McTaggart. Perhaps won't see Stockling. Swiss athlete Pascal Stockling. 4:60 her lifetime best. You'd think she's the next person to challenge McTaggart.
Jauger entre celles qui ont un peu plus d'expérience et qui ont l'habitude de courir dans n'importe quelle condition et s'adapter à n'importe quelle condition.
So,
et les athlètes qui doivent s'adapter. Et donc là, on est face à des athlètes qui
4:36.
sont parfois un petit peu plus jeunes.
To be a great stepping stone. It would put the pressure on some of the others around her as well if she can go clear. Second attempts. Corvin. Oh, just nicking that with her foot there. Slight shake of the head. It's an awkward height for someone like Corvin. Perhaps she would like a few more vaults before she got to this height. And I think that probably goes for a few of them as well. Perhaps they just would like a little bit more of a warm-up, get into the competition a little bit more, sort of attack this 4:20 height when they're sort of 5-6 jumps into the competition. And then from there, you can really start to push on into the 4:40s, 4:50s and attack your lifetime best on that 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th jump, that sort of realm. Don't have many more than 10 plus jumps in the competition. Then the fatigue really starts to set in. Cabrera will know that better than anyone. Here she goes, 4:23, second attempt.
Le vent est dans le dos, mais bien dans le dos.
Alors pour la perche, qu'il soit dans le dos ou de face, quoi qu'il arrive, ça leur crée des perturbations. Elle préfère un vent nul. C'est pour ça qu'en salle, ça peut souvent aller très très haut.
Margot Chevrier pour son deuxième essai à 4
Chevrier, second attempt, 4:23. Can she go clear? Just 25 years of age. No, she can't, and that is unfortunate for Chevrier. I mean, she does have a lifetime best of 4 meters and 71. That was back in 2023. What an incredible season that was for her. 2024, 8th at those World Indoor Championships. She was a late addition to this field. But yeah, 3-time national champion. And now she'll look at the likes of Bonin and think, world indoor champion, could that have been me? It will force her to raise her game a little bit. Every athlete on a slightly different path though, aren't they? Facing those different challenges throughout the sport. Injuries are the big one. Can you just stay injury-free? They're all talented at this level, got incredible talent. It's just who can stack up the most seasons year on year on year at the highest level. Here goes Russi. That's something she will be looking to do. Good plant. Oh, nicks it on the way up again. Height, not an issue, but just failing there. Didn't give herself the chance. Came on the bar way too quick. And now the pressure really is on for a few of these athletes, because to get knocked out the competition with a mark of 4:03, or for some of them, it will be a no height, is a real shame. And you feel a big waste of a competition as well. You come into a meet like this, you see it as a lifetime best opportunity. Well, they were the start list for this men's ambulant 100. On the track and ready to rock and roll. On the inside in, that's Nathan Perry. Sylvian Longlane. He'll go in 2. Jose Brida. He goes in 3. That's what it's about, soaking up the atmosphere out there. Kanate, Gyoko Kanate goes in 4. Wearing his club colours, and well, Emilia, unfortunately, won't see him, but Thomas Conte will be in 6. Each one of these men just enjoying their introductions. Nice and relaxed, aren't they? Jordan Blondel then in 7, and then right on the outside, Aurélien Pesquet. And, well, that lane proving to be the fastest lane so far. Berrio, what a performance she had. Striking victory from her in that women's ambulant 100. So will we see a replica, a replay of that in this men's event from lane 8, or will the win come from the inside? You can see the cluster of Perrin, Longland, Brida and Kanat in lanes 1, 2, 3 and 4. Blondel just making sure he's ready to go. So just the 2 athletes settling into their blocks. How will they fare? So where they going in? Good start on the outside from 8. It is Pesquet, who I mentioned, but in 2 then. What about Longland? Looking very strong, and he is going to pull away from this field. That's a dominant 100 from him. Gets it on the line. Kanade comes back at him. Too late though. 14:08. Good performance from Longland there. And he's got to be stoked with that. He was looking relaxed before the race, wasn't he? Full of confidence. And that will top him up. Fine running for him. Kanate challenge late though. Coming in 4, dead center pitch up. Just didn't quite have the start required to get on terms with Longleg. Could add a few flies there, a few men getting left in their blocks. A little bit of work to do on their start, but Longleg on the inside, then in 2. Pumping the arms, great form, that hero recovery. Just top notch, and Kanate did come back at him. But unfortunately, the race was already over. Well, that's it. You can't win a race in the first 40 meters, but you can certainly lose a race in the first 40 meters. And Kanate gave himself too much to do in that men's ambulance 100 meters. Next on the track at 8:30, so what are we in a couple minutes time? We will see that men's 100 meters. Jimmy Viku, Insola Ajayi, the NCAA superstar, Auburn University student. As a member of that 4x1 team. We see Longleg ring that bell. We have another winner, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to him. To the men's 100 next on the track. Meet record, Keston Bledman. back in 2015. So many of these records from 2015. There you are, just summarizing, confirming those results. Just 2 on the screen, but there will be others. Follow along, of course, many of you will know. Athlete live. And have those live results. Well, pressure's on them because it took 3 attempts to go clear at 4:03. Chivera is far, far better than this, but 4:23, 3rd attempt to stay in the competition. It would be a massive upset if she went out. Oh, and she does. Now that is a big, big shame, and that's a huge disappointment to the crowd here as well, but we are not going to see her contest this women's pole vault anymore. And the signs were there early on in the competition. I think when you're struggling at 4:03, an athlete of her caliber, it's a bit of a warning sign that perhaps you might not be where you want to be. Still just 24 years of age, that has a big, big future ahead of her in this event. You do get better than age. You know, you look at LA, she's only going to be, what, 27 or so there, 28 perhaps. That really will be her coming into her peak. So, Russi, another athlete. She's come close to 4:23, but would like to see a lot more from her. See those men warming up in the background, top of the home straight there. I've got a following breeze, but like I said, all of them in their tracksuits, keeping as warm as possible. It's super warm here in Normandy. The sun's not out either, but here we are. We focus on Russi on the home straight, parallel to the home straight, right down underneath the crowd here. Finally goes clear. That's a great attempt there. Good mark from her. Will stay in the competition, and that, you can see the sigh of relief. Big smile on her face. I think now she's like, right, here we are. Now I can compete. She knows the bar will be up, but perhaps might even go all the way up to 4:43. We might see another 20-centimeter increase. More likely it might go to something like 4:35. We will find out soon enough, but good mark from her, and there you can see the others who went clear. Tutton, Stockton, Petit, Heinen, and Russi there. So upset with Chivera going out, but other than that, everyone getting through at passing at 4:23. So then this men's 100 here at the World Athletics Silver Label Tour in Sotteville promises to be an absolute spectacle. We have 4 men who have broken that 10-second barrier, 5 men, sorry, who have broken that 10-second barrier. Jimmy Vicu, we know he was in his prime just a few years ago now. 4x1 European Championship gold in 2010, 3rd at the Olympic Games in the relay as well in 2012. He's had a fantastic career, he really has. European silver medalist in his time as well. 9:86, that European and national record. So he goes in 1. Rohan Browning, the Aussie. Be good to see him in 2. Amidadzi of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. He is a sub-10 performer. 10+ years as a chartered accountant. Asime, it's going to be great to see him. 9.99 at that Rome Diamond League. Mamadou Forsard and Jerome Blake. Well, this is the head-to-head that the meet organisers are promoting. I think a few others will feature. Make no mistake about it. Well, here's Vicu then on the inside. This is a man who needs no introduction in these parts of the world. I mean, he really is a star. He might be towards the end of his career, but he is still performing very, very well. 10.25, his season's best. Well, here's Browning. Look how close he is to that 10-second barrier. Is this the day for the Australian, a 3-time national champion? And that lifetime best, by the way, coming back in April for him. So getting his track season part 2 underway. Eugene Amidadzi. Great to see him still. That lifetime best from 2023. He won last weekend at those European Team Championships as well. So he's in good form. Stifling hot there. Asimi then. Look out for this man from Cameroon. 2nd at that Rome Diamond League, like I said, for a season's best in 9.99. He enjoys racing here. He enjoys racing on French soil as well. Kain Sola Ajayi then, gold medalist at those NCAA championships in the 4x1. That Auburn sets up led by Leroy Burrell, their coach, is just phenomenal. Some of the sprint stars coming out of that group. Jerome Blake, another man in this field who is a sub-10 performer, Olympic gold medalist in the 4x1, and he is just getting better and better and better. His lifetime best from just a few weeks ago, sub-10 for the first time this year. It had been coming from Blake. Well, Sarr, the Senegalese national record holder, 10.03. He's another man, though, who will look at that 10-second barrier and hope he can get it under his belt this year, of course. It is a massive achievement. And on the outside, then, Masoso, the South African, another man who is equal lifetime best. So Sarr just inside of him. Masoso was a second behind Blake, actually in Germany, for a lifetime best just a few weeks ago. So many of these men used to racing each other on the circuit. Here we are. Viku, Browning, Amadazi, Asime, Ajayi, Blake, Sarr, and Masoso. The music stops, the track falls silent. Blake visualizing how he wants his 100 to go. Off and away. Just being called back behind the line then. Oh no, this official just getting himself into position. Look how close the crowd are. They have a great view, don't they? We're going to see Blake again in the 200. That might be dependent on how this goes. The timetable allows it. Viku, Browning, Amadazi, Asime, Ajayi, Blake, Sarr, and Masoso. Well, look out for the small Nigerian Ajayi. Had a fantastic NCAA season. He's left Blake in the blocks, hasn't he? Amadazi's running well. Browning in there as well. No one's going to get on terms with Ajayi. He takes it. 9.93. It's a meet record. Ladies and gentlemen, phenomenal running from Ajayi. Well, he spent the first half of his track season competing for Auburn in that NCAA system. And now comes over to Europe and dominates here in France. Wow, breaks that meet record of Kirsten Bledman way back in 2015, 10.02. He's the only man in the field who breaks 10 on this occasion. But goodness me, he just got a great start, and I think you looked at Jerome Blake. He was the man in form coming into this, broke 10 seconds a few weeks ago for the first time, and he's been running awfully well, fresh off an Olympic gold medal in the 4x1 last year. But Ajayi just left him for dead in the blocks. I've never seen anything like it. And just continued to pour it on. And a great back stretch in that NCAA final as well. And Leroy Burrell has got to be one of the best sprints coaches. You look at the talent coming out of Auburn right now. It's your turn to ring that winning bell, Ajayi. Fantastic. Big smile for him, because that is a huge time. As you know what, that equals his lifetime best. He'll be a little bit gutted. Perhaps he couldn't quite sneak a PB here, but another 9.92 clocking for that man. Wow. Asime there in second. You can see 10.04. Sarr. Amadazi closed well. Browning just tying up towards the end. Looked to be in the top 3 for a long time, but perhaps his last 10 just fading. And Jerome Blake much further down than we would have expected, but yeah, it all went wrong. I mentioned in that ambulance 100. You can't win a race in the first 40, but you can lose it. And his start needed work. I'm sure we will see him now after that performance in that 200. He was set to be in the 200, but sometimes you can forgive an athlete if they run a massive lifetime best in the 100. To perhaps just go and enjoy it, put their feet up, recover, and focus on the next competition. But I think with the disappointment of that result, we'll see him over the half lap. Behind him then, 4.33. So the bar just creeping up 10 centimeters. Ooh, no way near. No way near. slightly frustrating for her, the athlete from the Lille Athletics Club. Not a million miles away here in the north of France, behind it. Perhaps just looks a little concerned as well, because, like I say, yeah, she was a long way off. Oh, this is it then. This is what most of this crowd came to see. Newly crowned world indoor champion, Marie-Julie Bonin. 4:33, first attempt. We expect her to go clear. She has had a fantastic 2025. 2024 wasn't so bad to her, but 2025 could not have gone better. Medals at the European Indoor Championships, gold at the World Indoor Championships, and now the outdoor season. Ooh, okay, runs through on that one. A little bit of pressure perhaps. But the outdoor season going well, and I think it's a big thing for an athlete when they go from being a finalist to actually getting on top of that podium like she did at the World Indoor Championships. You're seen in a slightly different light. You have to learn to cope with some extra pressure as well. You go into almost any meeting as a bit of a headliner, a favorite. Knowing all eyeballs, especially at a meeting like this in France, will be on her. And it's how you can cope with that. How you can cope with the headlines and the extra press conferences and the media duties as well. Well, here goes Tutton of Great Britain, 4:33. Ooh, I was about to say nice clearance. She's got that in her. That is the closest attempt we've seen at 4:33 so far. Second attempt for her, so she'll have one more. But out of everyone, that has looked like the best attempt. She pretty much had it there, just came down on the bar a touch. So for one reason or another, a lot of these women are actually struggling well below their best marked at 4:33. I don't think anyone's got a perfect scorecard just yet. Stockland to be the first to go clear at 4:33. You wouldn't have said that before the competition started. So here she goes in, sets herself. Stockland to put pressure on the others in this competition to go clear. Second attempt, she does it, that's great. And she will be chuffed with that because, like I said, now she can put the pressure on the others. Sun is shining now, this is great. Weather really coming out to play. The athletes will enjoy this. It will just hopefully warm up this arena a little bit. Next event on the track, by the way, is that men's 800 Stackfield. Well, here goes Russis. Well, she's seen Stockland go clear. Can she? No doubt Bonin will go clear as well. So you're looking to still stay in this competition, compete for those podium places. Ooh, just clipping it. Oh, she was chuffed to go clear at 4:23, wasn't she? And it's going to take a third attempt to go clear at 4:33 for her. We'll get some more advice. And that sun just setting in some of the athletes' eyes a little bit. I wonder if that is playing a bit of a factor on them. Albeit Oda on the far side, but you can see sort of starting the sun, drifting into the shade. So second attempts for Berenice Petit. Again, another athlete whose lifetime best well beyond this mark, 4:50. I think that is the secret to a lot of field events, even track, but it's just consistency. How often can you compete at your best? Because if you're consistently vaulting, an athlete like Petit, if she's consistently vaults 4:45, 4:50 in that range, she's consistently going to probably podium at some of these World Tour events, especially silver label and bronze label events, and she's used to competing in. So here she goes, Petit, second attempt.
Du meeting international de Sotteville 2025. Les médailles récompenses
So a little bit disheartening for her. So the pressure is on. A lot of these women in this pole vault, I fear we may not have many who are going to go clear at 440. And we had high hopes for it. We thought it was going to be a fierce competition. Just a little bit sluggish to get going. Sutton, Stockland, we're going to see one in again. Newly crowned world indoor champion. Loves this meeting, we always see her, don't we? Well, there's the replay. You can see good plant. It almost just didn't have the speed in the runway there to just get itself up over quick enough. Well, Dehaenen, second attempt for her. Took 2 to go clear at 423. Will it take 2 to go clear at 433? Having a good season. Like I said, that 453 lifetime best from just a few days ago. Perhaps feeling a little bit of fatigue from that. Sometimes when you jump a PB as well, there's a little bit of a come down, isn't there, mentally? You just don't quite have that same sharpness. You almost just relax a little bit. You just need to reset and regain that hunger. That's what athletes do it for, especially at this level, always striving. Them against them, really. Yes, they'll look at some of those, an athlete like Dehaenen will look at that French Championships, or want to feature there, or want to push, sneak a medal perhaps. Certainly placed in the top 6 or so. But throughout the season, it's just all about her against her. Can she continue to push the limits and have those big breakthroughs? We've seen the likes of So we are hearing from the stadium announcer, you can hear in the background, that is some presentations for that men's 100. What a race that was. I mean, just to wrap up some of the results from it, Ajayi 9:92. It was a meet record for him, equaled lifetime best for him as well. The Nigerian athlete competed in the NCAA system. Asimi was second, Sa was third, Amidazi fourth, and Jimmy VQ, unfortunately, all the way down in 8th place, 10:36. So just even he was a little way off his season's best performance. Here goes Dehaenen. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Not even an attempt, really. And it does beg the question, why? Why we are seeing so many women struggle? Commentated alongside Holly Bradshaw a few times. Obviously superb British pole vaulter, and we often saw her on the world scene, and she'd be a great person to really break down this women's pole vault competition right now. It's really interesting. Many of them just struggling a little bit to find their feet. Well, can Bonin lock in and deliver a vault, which is probably very, very routine for her. She must do it time and time again in training. Interestingly, they don't vault a heap in training, actually full height like this. Perhaps once, twice a week. So, your world indoor champion, second attempt at 4:33. It would be a shock, to say the least, if she fails this one. Champions don't panic though. They thrive in these sort of situations. Pressure is a privilege. Marie-Julie Bonin, second attempt at 4:33. Oh, rugged. Her body just didn't look like it was doing what she wanted it to do there. A bizarre second attempt for Marie-Julie Bonin. So then next on the track, the men's 800, you can see them top right, a picture just filing in into their lanes. These are the start list in. Well, good to see the hometown man, Theo Thevenet. He goes in 1. Got Callum Dodds lining up as well. He's a late addition to this meet, by the way. Giovanni Lazzaro, Ben Patterson, Tefera. Here we go, Magnu on the outside. Trains in the same group as Gabriel Tual, by the way. Same coach. He's had a great progressive career so far. Limur here. Another French athlete to look out for, but he will be pacing on this occasion. El Guessi, the Moroccan. Having a good season, 144.19. Leclésio then. Ostrowski, the pole. Philip Ostrowski, 144.25. Like I said, 9 men sub 145 in this field. 23 men sub 144 already this season. Leclésio of OAC Europe. 145.16 his season's best. He ran 144.7 the other day, actually. Correct myself. A couple of days ago. Loads of these men raced into Blaine just 3 or 4 days ago. Ben Patterson was one of them, so many of them will know each other. Nakapi here of Botswana. Great to see him. He's a Botswana champion, by the way. You might not believe me when the likes of Masela and Haguru are running so well. Haguru 142 and 143 for them, but they didn't feature in that national championships, didn't contest it. So he's their next man. They're making a great 4x800 team in Botswana. Well, here's Ben Patterson, world bronze medalist in 2023 over the 800. He's had a few injuries over the last 12 months or so. He's getting back. Opened up his season a couple days ago against most of these men. 147 there, disappointing run, but the man knows how to bounce back. It's him. There he is, Lazzaro then, the Italian. 144.95, Italian junior champ last year. He's a bright young prospect that they've got. Callum Dodds, 144.7. 144.5, by the way, is that world qualifying mark. And when you have 23 men already sub 144, you really do need to get that world standard. World ranking points will be a factor, I'm sure. But if you want to book your plane to Tokyo, you're going to need that standard, especially when you come from a country like France, Great Britain, Ethiopia, Italy. Just the sheer competition in these countries now is too much to rely on world ranking points. To the men's 800. So 11 men in this field. 10 will probably finish as long as the pacer does what he's required to do and pulls off at 400 meters. We're looking for, look at this, we've got the wave lights, 143.80. And that red wave light, 144.93. Meet record is that 143.93. That was set back in 2015. Gakimi of Kenya. No Kenyan athletes in this one. We got an Ethiopian, of course, but no Kenyans. Kapi as well of Botswana. So that's Ben Patterson just sitting off it a little bit. In fact, he is on the lights. This is good running from him. He's got a clear line. And coming up on his outside is the Frenchman. Said he trains with Gabriel Tual. It's a fine group they've got there. Tual running a fine season as well. So he's just going to bridge that gap. Patterson, this is good to see these men strung out. 50.5. It is Lemurt. Corentin Magnu as well is the man who leads it. Pacer will peel off at 500 to go. This is single file. Patterson just working hard there in second. Leclésio just a little bit far back for my liking. He's going to want to move up the OAC Europe, man. This isn't quite considering the French talent in this one. There's a lot of head-to-heads on the line here for these French athletes because getting into their world's team is going to be awfully difficult. 200 to run. Coming up on the outside, Lazzaro. Callum Dodds just fading a little bit as well. Stephanie is further back, but it's been this man, Corentin Magnu, from start to finish, really took the lead with 300 meters run down the home straight. He's going to be challenged now. Can he hold it together? Patterson finishes fast. Not on this occasion, though. Lazzaro is going to fade as well. What a run. Well, 145.75, 55.2 last lap, and it was the Moroccan in the end, El Guessi. Stormed through, center of picture. And he is in 5.4 minutes, Lazzaro. It's a bit of a messy race. You saw that first lap set up 50 points. And I thought we might see something a little faster here today. And you can see, I just think, well, Guisi was just a little bit far back, and Lazaro comes around, boxes him really through that top bend, but then powers through, had the best last 20, didn't he? And the Italian finishing fast. Dodds as well, just getting third with it on the line. Maybe might have hung on for the minor spot there. Well, there you are, then Guisi 145.75. So Ben Patterson with the season's best, knocked 0.5 off of his season opener just a few days ago. And Cape, a little bit disappointing from the Botswana. And with that field, I think the weather conditions have played a part there. You think coming in, 9 men under 145 coming into this race, and no one was able to break it on this occasion. So the meet record still stands. Well, unfortunately, that's Alicia Russi's competition over there. Bows out 4:33. Just seeing a quick highlight of that. Well, women's triple jump competition. Look at this then. Shanika Ricketts, Olympic silver medalist, coached by her husband. What a fantastic relationship. Can't imagine too many husband and wife relationships are that successful. But we look forward to welcoming her here. Leading this women's triple jump. There we are then. So, Sine of Ukraine. 14-12, her lifetime best. 13.96, that season best. Nielsen, the Dane, comes into this in good form as well. Whenever you PB. Foster Qatar then. Anne-Susanna Foster Qatar. Just under 14 meters this year. Lifetime best. Much further. Well, there's Saar as well. Another athlete to look out for. Sally Saar, lifetime best in June. Did compete at those Paris Olympic Games, knocked out in qualifying, but was there nonetheless. She can call herself an Olympian. One of the highest accolades in our sport. Filipic, Slovenia, 6th at the Rome Diamond League, so competing well this season. Talos, another athlete to add in the equation. Petrova then, Gabriela Petrova, 17 times national champion. I mean, it's staggering, the Bulgarian. Finalists at those major championships as well. Well, the Cuban then, Pavia, 4th at the Olympic Games. Heartbreaking, wasn't it? 14.93, her lifetime best. She's 2nd at the World Indoor Championships. Sits 3rd in the rankings right now. But this lady's ahead of her, Shanika Ricketts. And it's going to be an interesting matchup between these two. Lifetime best of just over 15 meters. And interestingly, like I said, this women's triple jump, when you look at those top lists, 14.55 is the World Championship qualifier. And only 3 women have jumped this that season. Apologies. And it's quite staggering, really. And so there will be a lot of ranking points on offer. If you can come away from this Silver Tour meeting with a podium place and a decent mark, you're in with a good shot of bumping yourself up those rankings. Marie-Julie Bonin then goes clear, and that might have been 4:33 attempt. Yes, it was. 3rd and final attempt at 4:33. Big relief for not just her, but also this crowd. They want to see something big this afternoon. They want to see potentially a meet record. It would take a PB for her to do it. And Axe Sandy Morris off the record books. Johainen, 4:43, first attempt. Well, much like some of our other first attempts, seems to get closer and closer as they go. Before that 3rd attempt, she went clear at 4:33, so a little frustrated, a little deflated as well. Well, McTaggart, interestingly, chose to pass 4:33, jump into the competition at 4:43, which is what I thought we might see Beninda. Is interesting to see her open at 4:33, and of course had a few problems as well. So McTaggart, oh, comfortably over. That's good. And you know what? That will be a little bit, well, that will put a little bit of pressure on Benin, I think. will lay down a little bit of a statement. The Kiwi athlete, best result at the World Championships coming back in 2022. She was 6th there in Oregon. And as I said, was the world leader for a short while. Outdoor leader in March. Of course, people jumped higher indoors, but 465 in March. Sat on top of the ranking. Well, she's a household name now. Marie-Josée Bonin has had a fantastic 2025. We'll run through here, but this is not a fantastic competition, and this is a challenging one for her. She's up against it this evening. What's she made of? Because when you see the likes of Matagat light work of 443, and the pressure's on a little bit. I think when you're having difficulties at these, what are now fairly low heights for her, but sometimes you do have to remind yourself where she came from, this indoor campaign. I mean, she PB'd 3 times. It wasn't long ago where 450 was her lifetime best, and then betted that indoors, got to the 460s, then again to the 470s. In the world indoors, pulls out the best vault of her life to win it in 475. And, you know, so the consistency, although she has incredible heights when she gets it right, perhaps just working on that consistency. So this competition is a great opportunity for her to do that. Stockland, Swiss athlete. Ooh, close. Came very, very close. Almost deserved that one. Next on the track, the men's 110-meter hurdles. What a field we have here. Now that meet record, 13:18, Dayron Robles, back in 2013. Jacob Tharp of the USA, Romain Lecour of France. That is the head-to-head that we are looking forward to seeing. Tharp, his lifetime best from that NCAA Championships, World Junior Champion in 2024. He's having an incredible season in 13:05. And I'm not sure Lecour will be able to get near it. Arcana then goes on the inside. Antonio Arcana, 8 times the South African champion. Scheisker. He goes in 2. Great athlete, but this is the season opener, 4th World Championships 2022. Well, Lecour then, I mean, he's going to be up against it. 13:37 his lifetime best. He was 6th at European Team Champs 9 or so days ago. Did run a PB last week, but when you've got this man to your right, Simonelli, what a season he had in 2024. European champion. 2nd at those team champs last week. Semi-finalist at the Olympic Games. He was gutted to miss out. It was so close, wasn't it? 13:05. Orlando Bennett. He too is having a fantastic season. 7th at the Olympic Games last year. The Jamaican national champion. They're one of the few countries who have actually had their trials already. Had it at the end of June. So that team being selected, we'll see him in Tokyo. So Jacoby Tharp, Kobe Tharp, 13:05. He's another athlete from Auburn. I mean, how many have they produced? Fine sprinters, fine hurdlers. They won the NCAA team title as university as well. Larry Ducey, 13:31. In the bright yellow. Going to be easy for us to identify. He goes in 7, and Dawara Matingu on the outside. He's a good late addition to this race 13:57 performer, and he's in the shape of his life. He's run that this season. That's what counts. So right up against those advertising boards. So often they are, these 110 hurdlers. Little room for them on the track. They're used to starting right underneath the crowd. You can see some of them even peering around those advertising boards. So for me, it's all eyes on the man in red. Jacoby Tharp. 13.05. He's a World Junior champion. He's the NCAA champion. He knows how to win. He won't fear any of these men in this field, even a European champion like Simonelli. I'm not sure Tharp is fearing him, even though they both share the same lifetime best. Watch out for Orlando Bennett, because he's got the job done at that Jamaican Championships. He's in that purple strip there and the orange spikes. Alcana, Shaiska, Akua, Simonelli, Bennett, Tharp, Lareduci, Dewara. Good start from Jacoby Tharp, and you know what? He's left Bennett in the blocks, hasn't he? Simonelli's got work to do as well. I tell you what, Romain Lecure in the dark blue there in two. He's putting a lot of pressure on Tharp. This is going to be a massive win if he gets it. He's not going to. Jacoby Tharp does take it in the end. 13.32. Would have liked more than that. And you know what? Hats off to the Frenchman there. Because coming into this, he was by no means a favourite. And you wouldn't have had him to challenge, really, bar the fact he's on home soil. And hey, that home advantage is a thing, folks. Romain Lecure. Well, Tharp got a great start, but through these mid-hurdles, this is the period where you usually see him accelerating, just go from strength to strength. He didn't really pull away from the field, and it was Lecure. There you can see him in the dark blue, putting the pressure on. Tharp gets there in the end, but it wasn't easy. And I tell you what, pound for pound, the person closest to their lifetime best is no doubt Romain Lecure. And he equals his lifetime best. Results just coming through on the screen now. So Jacoby Tharp 13.31 officially. And of course 13.37. And in third there, Lareduci 13.40. Season's best for Arcana as well. So a few shocks there. For me, Orlando Bennett, that's a poor performance, but perhaps he's just getting used to competing on the European circuit again. He's obviously spent a little bit of time at home and competing in those Jamaican national championships. He'll be getting ready for the rest of the summer. I think once you've got your national championships out of the way, it's all about getting yourself ready for Tokyo, those world championships. And for an athlete like Bennett, that's still 10 weeks away. Whereas you look at Tharp and what he's going to have to do, he's got those US trials. He's got to be red hot in a few weeks' time. Going in there, can she go clear? Yes, she does. That's good to see. 4:43. That is more like its second attempt. Here we go. She finally looks warmed up. Next track event is going to be the women's 200 meters. That is off in just a short while, 9:10 local time, 8:10 if you're tuning in from the UK. We'll be seeing Diallo again in that one after a fine 400. Look forward to seeing what she can do. All 8 lanes will be full. Just like the crowd here in Sotteville. Beautiful setting. So women's triple jump competition. This is Saar. Good jump from her. Now, that looked very good. Difficult to tell from this camera angle, isn't it? Plus 1.4, and there you go. 14.41 lifetime best. That will rock her straight to the top of the field. And you know what? That is going to challenge, because even someone like Shanika Ricketts has only got a 14.63 season's best. And the only other person Here's Pavea, who's gone further than 14.41 this season. So that's a huge jump from Saar. 22 centimeter lifetime best. How about that? Sally Saar. She already PB'd in June, so 2025 proving to be her year. Got some great experience last year at the Paris Games, was present there. Qualified, and for an athlete like her, that would have been the main focus of her season. But now, what can you do? Can you push on from here? And that's going to push her right up those World Athletic top list rankings, by the way. It's going to give us a good ranking points as well for someone who hasn't got that world standard yet. Well, Pavea. Here goes the Cuban. Fourth at the Olympic Games. It was heartbreak for her, but it would have left her hungry and fueled through this winter. Pavea, they've got a nice tailwind. That too is a pretty big jump. Will it challenge 14.41? She gets the white flag. It'll take a little while to come through. You can see they're going manual, these officials. We haven't got the electronic measurement here. Good old-fashioned tape measure. Well, it looks over 14 meters at least, didn't it? Which is a good start for her, a good modest start. Plus 1 point, there we are, 14.09 then. So that will put her straight up into second place. Still got Ricketts to jump. She will be next on the runway. You can see her top of picture now. And is it me? I think these floodlights need to be turned on. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit dark here in Sotteville, Normandy region. Well, here she goes then, the Olympic silver medalist. She has won every single competition she's jumped in this year, bar one. That was the Oslo Diamond League. 7 wins under her belt in 2025 on her outdoor campaign. Okay, solid start. 14 meters-ish. Let's see what it comes in at. Like I said, when we're not flat on the sandpit here, it is difficult to estimate just how far these jumps are. So, Shanika Ricketts, of course, behind Perez Hernandez in the rankings, just like she was last year at those Olympic Games. The other Cuban superstar. But we have got 2 of the very best in the world. 13.73. Actually, pretty disappointing from Ricketts. That will sit her in 4th. And we don't expect her to see her there for long. She'll make the corrections. That's for sure. Bonnie goes along the runway, 4.53. Oh, okay. And now just starting to get a little frustrated for me. I think you could just see there the way she just dropped that pole down. Had difficulties early on, but just isn't ironing them out, is she? For one reason or another. Well, next on the track, the women's 200 meters. Here we are in Waterfield. Tamara Clark, look out for her. She goes dead center in 5. Good lane draw. Perhaps the favorite, you could say, on lifetime best at least anyway. 21.92. Guibert on the outside. 24.46. I think the likes of Paula Teaming is going to eat her up pretty early on around that stagger. Potentially get on terms as quick as possible. 23.28 lifetime best for her. Fanny Peltier. Running well, but season opener for her over the 200, so what can she do? Well, here's Tamara Clark then, the American, 6th at the World Championships in 2022. 10.88 over the 100 as well. Phenomenal runner. Former Alabama University student, a candidate. Another athlete to look out for, the Belgian. 23.03. Fine sprinter on her day. She'll have Clark on the outside of her to key off. Needs to get out hard. Can't let someone like Clark go, because once she's into her running, you're not going to get back on her. Narasoa. 23.68. Well, it's great to see, isn't it? Diallo bouncing back from that 400-meter win. 400-meter hurdles, shall I say. She has run a 400 lifetime best. She's PBing in every single discipline. And that, I'll tell you what, that 23.68 lifetime best, that could go the way we just saw her running those 4 hurdles. Kamangu, of course, she'll have a little bit of fatigue. 24.83 right on the inside. So we were going to see Parisot in this one, but the French, Eleni Parisot, but she doesn't line up. She was the athlete second to those European Championships last year who was actually going to give Tamara Clark the biggest run for her money. And now, with the withdrawal of her, you do look at Tamara Clark in the center and you expect her to pull clear. And take this one. On your mark. Meet record, 22.39 from 2015. Candice McGroning. So off they go, and it's a clear start already. Clark is just up on the lady on the outside of her. Peltier up on her shoulder, but not quite having her own way. Clark, she's going to be under pressure coming in the home straight. Cole Atime on her outside in the yellow. You can see Clark just a little bit out of sorts. She's rocking at the moment. And look at this thing in 4. That's Delphine de Kanza. This is going to be a fantastic win for the Belgian. Storms it. 22.91. How about that? And destroys the likes of Tamara Clark there, who just, well, you expected her coming off that bench to go from strength to strength, an athlete of her pedigree, but not at her best today. Take nothing away from Delphine de Kanza there of Belgium, because that is exactly how you want to run a 200 and how you wish it to go as well. I think before last night, she would have been visualizing the race and would have been a dream to be pulling clear in the home straight like that. Just watch this back then. So you can see Clark, and already she looks uncomfortable. Already very tense. You can see the head just starting to rock there. And you just see Nikanza just comes off the turn the best, doesn't she? That 20-meter section off the turn into the straight was fantastic. Leaning towards the outside of the lane there. But, yep, the Belgian superstar dominates here. Former European under-23 champion, still just 23 years of age, by the way. But having a great season, and we've seen her a lot more over the 100 this season. That's going to be a season's best for her over the 200. No doubt about it. And perhaps just interestingly, just finding her feet in the 200. That should hopefully give her a little bit of confidence, and we would like to see more of her over the 200, that's for sure. So there you are from Nikanza, not only a season's best, it's a lifetime best, if that is an official clocking, 22.92. Fanny Peltier in second there, Cole Atime, Narasoa, Tamara Clark, Diallo, that's good from her, bouncing back, 23.91. I mentioned she PB'd over the 400 already, she had the 4 hurdles, and took the win already here at this very meeting. So good, well, hour or so's work for her, and that wraps up the women's 200 meters. Olivia McTaggart, the Kiwi, goes clear, and that is going to put a little bit of pressure on Bonin, because she is the only person in this field to have gone clear, one at 4:53, but look at that scorecard. That's the important point. Went clear at 4:43, no questions asked on that first attempt. And of course, 2 attempts at 4.53, but went clear on the second. And Bonin is only going to be able to match that, but had a little bit more trouble at 4.43. So McTaggart will be leading at this stage. Oh, no problem. That is more like it from the world indoor champion. There we go. Second attempt, 4.53. And perhaps she just needed a little bit of competition to fire her up. You can see her letting out some early frustrations. And I think she might learn from this. I was surprised how early she came into this competition. You compare that to McTaggart, who is a very, very accomplished vaulter, but hasn't hit the same success as Bonin. And to come in at 4.33 when you're a 4.75 vaulter was a little strange. Perhaps just getting a few more vaults in her, a little bit of training. But you can see he wasn't comfortable at those heights. But now we're getting into the 450s. It's a height that she has vaulted many, many times before. And perhaps just a lot more comfortable in this sort of realm. Trains at these sort of levels as well. Used to using these poles. Here we are, they just taking place on the infield women's triple jump. Petrova on the runway. Currently sitting in third. 13.92 on that first attempt. Big wind reading though, 3.2 plus 3.2 meters a second. So it's swirling down there. See some of the sprints at 2 meters a second, 1.3 meters a second. There goes Petrova. Ooh, it looks like a foul to me. I'd be surprised if we don't see a red flag there. Difficult angle to see, but we're not seeing the officials. Yeah, there we go, foul. And I think that does make, look at that, plus 2.7 meters a second. That is difficult to measure off, to measure your run up when you've got that much of a following wind. Right, then it's the two we expected. They haven't quite got there as easy as we would have predicted, but Olivia McTaggart, global finalist in the pole vault, 4.63. Pretty close to her season best, by the way. She's only vaulted 4.65 this year. Here goes the Kiwi star. Oh, you know what? Looks doable. It looks like we're going to see her go clear at 4.63. We're going to have a competition on our hands, but for the time being, failure at 4.63. 2 more attempts left. She'd be pretty confident she goes clear. Pavea then. Good on the board. This looks good. Good bit of height. Hung in the air as well. The Cuban will like that. 14.09 in second place. It is Sally Saar who leads with 14.41 in the first round. And the minute she did that, I thought that is going to challenge for the win. That is going to take some of the very best from Pavea, from Ricketts to beat that today. Especially when the wind's swirling around this stadium like it is. There we are, a slight improvement on that first round, 14.16. And you see there, that was actually a legal wind reading. And the likes of Petrova, 2.7 meters a second, so a legal reading for her. So that wind is really just up and down, very, very hard to predict. Luck of the draw, really, when you can get on that runway. So 2 stars in track and field on the runway at the same time. We've got Ricketts in the 100. On the pole vault runway here. The crowd are behind her, atmosphere is rocking. You can hear that within the stadium. This would put the pressure back over to McTaggart if she goes clear, runs through. 2 or 3 times today. So using that first attempt just to sight her run up. She's smiling though, she's happy. I think, you know, at one point I thought she might be getting a little frustrated. If she is, she's not showing it at this stage. So then the men's ambulant, 100 meters up next on the track. Loren Leopoldi, he goes in 1 alongside him. Guy Shafia goes in 2. He must be inspired out here. Look at this. Great to see him welcome the crowd, acknowledge them. They acknowledge him back as well. Chloe Cobbin. Goes in 3. Alsani Tour then goes in 4. Be interesting to see what that man can do. I know he comes into pretty strong form. Marion Vidal then in 6. And then right on the outside, he's in a wheelchair. This is, of course, a mix of disabilities in this event, but Fan Van Tam on the outside.
100 mètres mixte dans e-sport présenté par le Crédit Mutuel.
So we've had a whole host of para events, para sprint events today. It's been great to see. This is the final para 100. Well, look out for Chloe Cobbin. She's the only woman in this field, but what a fine athlete she is. It's a battle of the 2 men. Leopoldi on the inside, streaking away from the rest of the field, being chased hard by Toure. Leopoldi takes it. Toure is in 2nd. Corbin comes through for 3rd. She wins the women's category, no doubt about it. Great running from all of these. Certainly acknowledging one another as well. Vidal is out there and Fan Van Tam just coming across the line too. So we'll have to see if some PBs were on offer. Let's get the confirmation of those results. I know it's a season's best for Leopoldi. And Leopoldi. Super work from him. Next event on the track will be the women's 800 meters. The 2-lap dash, but first we better check in with, of course, Mary-Julie Bonin, because ran through at 4:63. 2nd attempt. Struggling, you can see by that scorecard, she hasn't had all her own way. Not quite at her best, but this is what champions do. When they're up against it, they continue to just pull out the very best. And it wasn't long ago. You know, when you look at her season in 2025, it wasn't long ago. That was a lifetime best for her. She's PB'd 4 times already this year, and that's great. 4:63, and now I wonder, but dependent on what McTaggart does, whether she'll look at that meet record of Sandy Morris's 4:76 and just have 3 attempts at it. I guess she does just look more comfortable. Wow, she's well clear. That's more like a 4:70, I would say there. Super vaulting from her. Super vaulting. So here goes McTaggart. To stay in the competition. To go toe for toe with the world indoor champion. To challenge her on her home soil. She looks good early. It looked like we might have seen a closer affair here, but she's got to go clear because Bonin is now going from strength to strength and looking like she'll attack that beat record. McTaggart, oh, and that's unfortunate. Not to be for the Kiwi. Great work from her, though, but not to be on this occasion. 4:63 So she falls short of her season's best. And she'll be a little gutted because look at that. It was close, wasn't it? Not that it matters, but you look at that and you think, well, as long as she had a 4%, she'd go clear, but completely defeats the point. You can see, yeah, just a little frustration. You can tell by the body language. She knows she's got it. And I think that's why some of these vaulters, you know, they compete so much throughout the season. They're awfully relaxed, aren't they? At a meet like this, she goes, well, you know, I'll do better next time. And she can take confidence from that. She'll look back, she'll analyze. She'll probably even watch herself back. And that's what the best do. They take lessons from every single competition, good or bad. And they figure out how they can improve. So we are coming into the final half an hour of this meet here. Welcome. If you are just joining us, the meeting here in Sotteville in the Normandy region, World Athletics Continental Tour, silver label. We are seeing some fantastic stars. They continue to compete out there. Shanika Ricketts, Pavea over in the triple jump on the infill. We've got Mary-Julie Bonin here in the pole vault as well. We saw some fine athletes in the men's 800. Diallo winning the women's 400 hurdles. We saw a sub-10 clocking in the 100 already. So you've missed a bit of action if you are joining us. However, of course, you can go back, rewatch it. I'm your commentator, Max Seddon. I'll be with you throughout the last half an hour of this meeting. Filipic is just trying to keep warm. It is breezy. It's breezy and it's a little nippy out here. It's 17 or so degrees trackside for these athletes, and there's a wind reading of around 11 to 15 kilometers an hour. It's swirling a little bit. So we have another stacked field in the women's 800, just like we did in the men's. 10 athletes to run, including the pace up. And we welcome Ella to me to start. Itachi. Well, keep an eye on this women's triple jump competition though, because we are into, or about to come into the fourth round. Whether we're going to see Sally Sarr. She leads the way. 14:41. Where's this bar? You can see them measuring it. That's a big old ruler they've got there. Will we see this pole bar go to the record, the meet record of 4:76? I think now Bonin's won the competition. There's not much more to vote for. And you know, you look at her lifetime best of 4:75. Will she want another crack at that? She knows that if she's going to compete or continue to compete in the Diamond Leagues, on the world stage, she's going to have to get more comfortable jumping 4:75. She's going to have to be more consistent jumping that height. These are some very, very thorough measurements going on there. They've had that measuring stick up underneath that pole for quite some time. Look at the crowd there. Look at it singing some local tunes. Fantastic. 5,500 here at this meeting. And every single year, you go back through the meet records, and I think it really shows just how big this meeting is to this local community and the athletes who come here and take part. Well, Filipic. Good on the board. That will count. How close to 14 meters? Is it another 80-odd centimeter improvement like we saw from round 1 to 2? Be chuffed if it was. That'd be a lifetime best for her. Well, we're waiting for it to come in on our screens. I anticipate perhaps 1390, maybe 14 meters. Always difficult to see, isn't it? 1375. Well, what do I know? Plus 1.8 meter per second wind. So a legal jump. Nonetheless, let's have a look in this women's 800. These are the first few on the start list. Candy Sunon, what can we expect from her 4th of those European Championships in Rome? Look at the French field. Pizzo in here, Lieberman as well. Pizzo, that French champ from 2024. Well, here's the head-to-head then. Cooper Kaspar and Getachew of Ethiopia. And I look at Getachew actually and how she's going. I mean, silver medalist from the World Indoors in 2025. Back in Nanjing, she's having a fine season, 3 times at 158. So Kolokoska, I believe, will be pacing this one. She's in 9. Arvitabel. He's the European team champ, 6 times the Spanish champion, Arvitabel, but hasn't broken 2 minutes yet this season. Well, this is the star who I think is heavy favourite for this race. 158.02 her season best. As I mentioned, she's run that 3 times this year. Hasn't gone slower, hasn't gone quicker. Lost out to Secadiza, one of the best runners in the world at those World Indoor Champs, to get silver there. Well, Lieberman setting that 159.18 lifetime best from just a couple days ago. Comes into this in great form. Silver at the European Indoor Championship. Breakthrough performance for her there. The 3rd last week. Well, Pizzo then, that French champ. What a run that was last year. Didn't qualify for the Olympics, unfortunately. Didn't have the standard, but shows she can turn up when it matters. Championship performer. Well, Haji, the Moroccan, so consistent, yet to break 2 minutes, but so close on so many occasions. You go through her profile, it's almost heartbreaking. You're just willing her to break 2. Will today be the day? Cooper Gaspar then. The strong Cuban, 158.39, semi-finalist at the Olympic Games in 2024. Candy Sunon, great to welcome her. 201 season's best, and how about this? 52.6 400-meter PB this year, and that is very, very impressive. She's in fine form over the 1-lap event. Her speed's there now. Is the endurance. Gulajani of Italy, she goes in 2. And right on the inside then, Shiro. 202. Well, this is the kind of field which she will look at and just go, can I stay in it? Can I stay in it for as long as possible? Be in contention with 150 to run, and you're going to be rewarded a lifetime best if you're anywhere near the sharp end of this field. So her tactics will be simple on the inside, Shiro. Kulajani, Candace Sunon in 3. Getachew there. Wearing those maroon colours. The Ethiopian, the World Indoor silver medalist, going from strength to strength. She's going to feature come those World Championships outdoors in Tokyo. You would expect Getachew. Very, very consistent 158 performer. However, won't have it all her own way here. Cooper Gaspar, the Cuban, also a sub-2 performer. We have many in this field. Getachew does like to front run. She won't fear tucking in behind the pacer. She'll be smooth there. Candace Sunon just storming through on the inside, getting herself a little bit boxed. It's bunching round at the 200-meter mark. However, Getachew out front will have a clear run, of course. Look at those wave lights. They're well ahead of them at the moment. This is fast, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of pushing and shoving towards the rear of the field as well. Candace Sunon is boxed in a little bit. So is Kulajani. Haji's in there further back too. Clara Lieberman, Pizzo, ones to watch, but Getachew sits in second, and this is strong running from her. She looks very, very controlled. In behind, look at that 400-meter clocking, 58.1, that's fast. And now it's going to come down to the strength. For a lot of these women, they can run this, but they need it in good conditions. They need a good race. They need a clear run as well. And look at Getachew. This is what she does. This is fine running, pouring it on. 300 meters to go, 72 at 500. Is this going to be the day she breaks 158? She has got it this season, that is. She's got a lifetime best of 157.47 from 2024. It was a great season from her. She is a class apart. Look at the gap she's got on this field. They're going to battle hard for second, but unless something horrible happens to Getachew in the final 150, she is going to take this race. pours it on, and this is world-class 800-meter running. You don't see many races like this on the circuit. We're witnessing it here today. I mentioned as the race got underway, she is certainly going to feature in Tokyo. You'd bet her to make the final, fresh off a World Indoor silver medal in the winter season. Here she is then, another 158 or 159.89. So faded over that last lap, but had absolutely no competition over the last 400. Getachew, ladies and gentlemen, of Ethiopia. A bit of a breakout star, and I think in these conditions, that was fine running. Lieberman gets second, managed to hang on. Pretty much second all race long. And it was surprising. I would have thought they would be able to get closer to Getachew over that second lap, but I think where she did the damage, she really broke them in that third 200, and that was enough. So smooth. That was the 500-meter mark. This, I believe, is the top end. You can see just starting to falter now, but like I said, absolutely broke them. Pizzo, Lieberman, some good French head-to-heads going on there. Well, back to Bonindin in the pole vault. I mentioned she will go for 476. Oh, okay, that's a solid second attempt. And that's it. She has nothing else to vault for this evening, bar that meet record. She would love to carve her name into the history books. Can you lip read? Did she just say, I can do it? Well, great run from Getachew. $159.89, that's a big winning margin in the end. Look at that, Daly Cooper Caspar in third. Pizzo, Candice Unan. Disappointing from the French athletes, I think, today. Look at them, they've all broken 2 minutes on paper, and they're a long, long way off tonight. It's that point in the season where I think athletes have opened up. They've run well, they've perhaps hit a season's best, perhaps hit a lifetime best, and there's often a little bit of a dip now because you have got that national championships on the horizon. They've all got 5, 6 races under their belt already, or some of them have started late, at least 2 or 3 races, and now it's almost that point of the season where they need to go back, continue with the strength work on the endurance, and sharpen up once again. Talos goes in the triple jump. Good jump from her. I believe that's going to be just under, looked like it was well beyond 13 meters. I wanted to say just under 14, but don't take my word for it. It is a very, very difficult angle. But yeah, going back to the 800, I think it is, and even the sprints and all these disciplines. There we are, 30.56. Nice jump from Talos there. It is that point in the season where athletes just looking to stay consistent, reset a little bit, and you almost break your seasons into 2 halves. You go, I'm going to open on X date, I'm going to have a good series of competitions, and then you get back into another training block and really focus on the championship end of the season, whether it be national champs or, of course, that world championships, which isn't until September. Nielsen. Oh, that's a foul. That's a foul, went through the technique anyway. Dane, 13.42 so far, jumped that in the 3rd round. 14.13 lifetime best. She's going to want to get a little bit closer to that today. She'll be delighted to be competing alongside Olympic silver medalist Shanika Ricketts. What can you learn? Solid enough from Nielsen. So we're into the 4th round, and still Ricketts and Pavea have not shown any signs of, not that they need to. They know what they've got in their locker. We know what they've got in their locker, but not threatening Sarah at the moment, who's out front with 14.41. It'd be a big upset. Like I said, Ricketts has only lost 1 competition since the outdoor season started in 2025. Foster Katz out. Good on the board. Good jump. Well, she was smooth through the phases, wasn't she? Hung in the air nicely. And that, I mean, 13 again. She's another athlete. 13.54. You look at it and think surely she's going to have improved on that. She's jumping consistently. Capable of well over 14 meters on her day. And I mentioned before, this is a prime opportunity for those ranking points. I have to apologize, that was 13.49, another one equal to that first round attempt. Well, here she goes, and this is her final attempt of the day. Marie-Julie Bonny. 4 meters in 76. The reason it's such a precise measurement is because that is the meet record of Sandy Morris. It dates back to 2017. 8 years old now. Camden World Indoor Champion, European Indoor Bronze Medalist. Erase Morris from the history books here. At this meeting, we have seen so many Olympic and World Champions arrive here and put on a show for us, and this is just another one. But wouldn't it be sweet for a French athlete to hold the meet record? Here she goes, third and final attempt. Oh, it's a shame. Very, very frustrating. Well, that's it. That's her competition, and it was a weird one for Bonin today. She came here, she got the win. That's, of course, the most important factor. However, never really looked like she was in control. Had difficulty at just about every single height. Didn't have one clear scorecard at any height either. McTaggart there, congratulating her on the win. Interacting with the crowd and the fans that have come to watch, and I think that's an important part of the sport. But yeah, it wasn't to be her day, and I'm sure she'll hope for more in the next few weeks, especially as we head into that French Championships. Where you might have seen, there you are, there's confirmation of those results. So yeah, relatively surprising that not only did Benin struggle, many others were way off their best as well, with a bit of a tailwind. Those vaulters. Now, women's 100-meter hurdles about to take place. They look like they were in position, ready to rock and roll. This is the third event. So here we are on the inside. Laura Vallette. 12.87, a lifetime best. Not quite there yet this season, but it's still a very strong contender. I mean, that was back in 2019, but she still is very consistent, always there or thereabouts, that 13-second clocking. Liziane Ruiz goes into an athlete in fine form, 12.81. Alexandra Webster as well, equal season's best with her. The American 12.70 when she's on form. Well, there you are, the world record hold over the 60-meter hurdles. Look at that lifetime best, 12.44. Wouldn't she love to take down that meet record of Toby Amasan? 12.49. Devon Charlton. We welcome her, the world indoor champion from Glasgow. 6 at 2 Olympic Games now as well. Raina Jones also having a good season, and on her day can certainly challenge someone like Charlton. But she has to be at her very best. Charisma Taylor, PB at the Olympic Games last season, 12.63. It was great to see her break that 12.7 barrier. She's a fantastic athlete. 100-meter hurdler and a triple jumper. She went to the Paris Games in both, would you believe it? 6 in the 100 hurdles and the triple jump at the World Indoors as well. Judy Chalker, 12.87. Again, it's a time. If she can produce it today, she may compete for one of the top 3 spots here. Michelle Yannick. Had a great season last year. Like so many of these athletes, you know, you do peak for those Olympic years. Often you see those lifetime bests come either the year prior or Olympic year. And for some of them, it's back to work. Remind yourself why you do it. Stay hungry. And for a lot of these athletes in this field, I mean, they're all going to be focusing on the World Championships. That world qualifying mark, by the way, 12:73, they'll be looking for it. Many of them already have it.
On your mark.
So Devon Charlton. She's a world indoor champion. She's a 60-meter hurdler world record holder. She's an Olympic finalist in both 2021 and 2024. Her teammate, Charisma Taylor, national record holder over the triple jump, 14:08. She probably would have looked at that field today and would have liked to be a part of it. Women's 100-meter hurdles.
Set.
So expect Charlton to start fast. Ooh. Didn't even hear the second gun there. Janique on the outside. Now they go onto the grass there. Doing well to avoid the speaker and a couple of the officials. Let's see. Charlton. Well, there's the reaction times. Taylor. Keep an eye. 3 in from the camera. You can't tell from the slow-mo even, can you? So they'll double check it. How many officials is that? 1, 2, 3. We've got 8 officials standing around the screen to help make an educated decision. Will this be a disqualification for Charisma Taylor? Are we seeing a yellow? Did I see a yellow card the official was holding there? Is this a red card? Back to his post. Oh, here we go. Here comes the yellow card. Charisma Taylor. That's just a warning, thankfully. Just one of a kind. You know, an athlete that can compete on a world level at 100-meter hurdles and the triple jump. I'm not sure we've ever seen it before. Taylor is one of them. She qualifies for major championships in both events, time and time again, and competes. She's a finalist. National record holder in the triple jump.
On your mark.
The Australian national champion, Michelle Janique. Look out for her on the outside. Only run 13:15 this season. We'll be looking to get it right come September. So Charlton does start fast. Once again, she's definitely first to rise, isn't she? Devon Charlton, ladies and gentlemen, turning on the afterburners here. Charisma Taylor putting on pressure. Charlton hits that barrier. Raina Jones now takes it up. She's going to take it. Jones wins 12:82, and what an upset that was. Former NCAA bronze medalist Raina Jones adapting to life as a professional on the European circuit. You got to take your opportunities when they come, and boy did she. 12:81. Taylor in second, 12:87. That fall wasn't a fall, was it? But with Charlton hitting the hurdle there, I think that put a few women off around her, but Jones was unfazed. Look at this. Charlton was first to rise over 1, looking smooth. Where did she hit? Barrier 5 over safely. That one, and she's just ahead at the moment, and then just clips it, and then it was that stumbles after and then clatters her way through, and then Raina Jones just took the race on from there. Did very, very well. Tunnel vision. They are hurdlers, aren't they? They have to ignore everything else around them. Focus on their stride, their rhythm. Jones's last couple were a little untidy, but a good win nonetheless, and a season's best for her. And if she stands any chance at making, I was going to say at a US team, but to be honest, if she stands any chance at making a US final, she's going to have to be in that sort of form, if not better, come their national championships in a few weeks' time, because they are by far and away the best in the world over the 100-meter hurdles. And she enjoys that. And it looks like that's probably her first time she's rung the winning bell. Long may it continue at meets all around Europe. We first saw it, then we had the Olympic Games. But that's a big win for Jones. And so she should enjoy it. 12:81, Charisma Taylor, 12:87. Michelle Jenick, nice season's best for her. Other than that, no one else managing to better their lifetime or season's best. Foster Kata in a triple jump. It's a white flag. Those officials up off their seat. No electronic measurements here. Got an old school manual, trusty tape measure. You can't go wrong. So this will be fed into the system in just a minute or so's time. Let's have a look at a replay of this. Lovely fluid mover on the runway, isn't she? Rangy stripes, exactly what you want. Hangs in the air well, and that's going to be one of her better jumps, I think. 13.66. And that's confirmed, 13.66. There you are. Moves her up into 6th place. It just leaves Talis, no one else. And starting to put the pressure on. So just one more round to go in this women's triple jump competition, and still Shanika Ricketts of Jamaica, the Olympic silver medalist, sits in 3rd place. Well, the men's 1,500 meters is next on the track. We have 2 more events of the evening, the men's 1,500 and then that men's 200. We'll see Wade Van Niekerk will focus on 3 3/4 laps. We have a fierce competition here. 16 men in this one. It's going to be absolutely jam-packed, and lots of them in this field are still seeking that world qualifying mark, 3:33.0. Even the likes of Amias Germa, you would put him down as one of the favorites in this. He's run 3:33.49 already this year, Germa. He won in Turku over the 1,500. That gold label tour was a great race for him there. His PB coming just a couple days ago. Mafalele, well, he is a fast starter. He does love to front run. He loves an aggressive first lap. Well, Gilbert, what a season he is having. 3:32. This man just continues to impress in everything he does in PB. The Greeks, well, look out for him. Div 2 star in the NCAA. Competes for Wingate University. That 3:32 coming after that NCAA season. Amias Germa there, Guyet as well. He ran a fine race last year, 3:32. Commentated on that one. That was a Nice. He took the win there, and it was a field much like this. Tom Keane looking for another consistent performance. He'd like to get much, much closer to that world standard of 3:33 as well. Hotel, Gervais, Samotwo is the fastest in the field. Charles Samotwo, he's a 3:30 performer. 3:37 season best, the Kenyan. So a lot of these men are very, very evenly matched. And it's just, a lot of it's going to come down to positioning. Positioning with a lap to go. So 16 men launch themselves down the back straight towards the top bend. The pacer, Lemieux, will just take them through nicely through this opening. Look at the wave lights, 3:31, 3:34.3. Again, that is the meet record. That is Mafalele from 2 years ago. And so he's a man who likes this meeting, likes this track. This is good running for 1,500. It's slightly cool, perhaps a little bit too cool for some, but the wind is dropping. It has dropped throughout the evening. So the conditions finally looking pretty good here in Sotteville. Mafalele, you can see him in the red there, just moving up into 3rd place. That's Gilbert there, who sits in 3rd as well. He's looking smooth, 3:32 performer. Jan Scrub, I mean, the French athletes are just on fire at the moment. We saw Scrub run 3:31 the other night. For a 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter run. It was one heck of a performance, and I think Gilbert looks at that as well, and he'll be hungry to just do a little bit more. Mark Sotteville is a man that we haven't mentioned too much of, the German. So all strung out, and I mentioned it will be, and what often happens is the pacer pulls off, and then it just bunches, and it all comes down to positioning going into that final lap. That's the crucial part of the race. Where are you positioned at the bell, especially at this level, because that could cost you a second over that final quarter. So Gilbert, Mafaleli, that's Elias Germer just sitting a little further back in there. Tom Keane to the rear of the field, the Greeks as well, Wingate University, the Frenchman just starting to break away. You can see there's red lights. We've got blue, green, and red out there at the moment. So that is the second pacer who's going to take them through 800, perhaps a K, and then it is going to be on Gilbert. Van Riel there. He's a 3:36 performer at his best, but you can see just looking at that gap, the Frenchman just starting to struggle, and this is where it may bunch up. This may be the opportunity for some of those in behind just to get in touch, get in contact with this lead pack, because Gilbert doesn't want to be out there. Van Riel's doing a great job to keep it honest, to keep these men moving. Keep an eye on the clock as we hit the bell. Mafaleli looks good, doesn't he, at the moment in second place. He is the meet record holder. Mujahid is on the outside as well. The Greeks is coming into the picture. Myers, Germa, Kuyet. We got a bunch of 332 men just starting to queue up now. Tom Keane coming up on the outside, and this is what you want. Well, predicted this might happen. It so often does at these European Tour events. Gilbert's got the inside line in. What's the bell there? 338, 339. So they're going to have to go some. Tom Keane just on the outside getting cut up a little bit. Or perhaps leaning on the inside of Mafaleli too much. So the small figure of Mafaleli drops back into fourth. 300 meters to run. It's the Moroccan Mujahid on the outside, 253. That was a 60 lap. That's far too slow for these men. So any idea of lifetime bests have virtually gone out the window, to be honest. Are we going to see a French victory on home soil, though? Gilbert has pretty much led gun to tape. Look at this late run. This is fantastic running right on the outside from Rizki. Havad Rizki of Morocco, looking strong, but Guyet, I saw him 12 months ago take the win in Nice in 3:32. He had a great finish on that occasion. He's on the shoulder. It's right where you'd want to be in 1,500 meter racing. So the Frenchman storms down the home straight, 50 to run. Gilbert on his outside as well. Here comes Germa. He won a couple weeks ago, and Gilbert is going to take it quite deservingly after the way he ran it, 3:36. It was messy. He lost his positions over that last lap, but he clawed them back in the home straight. He was patient enough in that final 200 and carries on like he could have done more. 3:36.55, and these meetings are so tough. You know, I know for a fact that a lot of these men would have come in here and they would have looked at, can we get under that world standard of 3:33? They're probably in the shape to do it. Germa there in third. Rizki in fourth. But it just gets messy. At a crucial point in the race, it starts to bunch. And that is the only difference between these races and when you see those gold level tours or even those diamond leagues, and you see, you know, 10, 12 men all run lifetime bests and national records and whatever else. I think the key difference between the diamond leagues at the moment and some of these world tours that we see on the circuit is just that third lap. You can't afford a third lap at a 1,500 of this caliber to be running 60, because not only do you lose time, but then it just gets very messy over the last lap when really you need to have a clear run. I thought Guyet timed it perfectly there, but Gilbert did very well to come back through the field, showing his strength, really. He really is having a fine season. He is Luis Gilbert. It's another win for him, and he's a fantastic steeplechaser as well. When he's at his best anyway. He's an 8:13 man. And you're starting to look at him though. In fact, he's running 3:32 this year. Starting to look, what event will he opt to do? Come in the World Championships in Tokyo, because he hasn't standed in both. Shanika Ricketts, good on the board. Is this going to take her into the lead? That looks much better. She's not used to losing. Not at this level anyway. Perhaps when you get to the Olympic Games, maybe. into the 5th round. 14-19 you saw, so it's better from her. But it's strange to see her. She moves herself in a second, 3 centimeters above Pavea, but yeah, very strange to see her not win a competition like this, as I mentioned. Well, there he is, the man of the moment. It was a great race from him, and he's just having a superb season, superb couple of years, going from strength to strength, the confidence to take races on like that and win. He put himself out there, and he did get gunned down over the last lap, as you might predict. However, responded. Signs of a true champion to respond like that in the final 100. He was gritty, wasn't he? Foster captured him. Sixth and final jump. We are into the final round of this women's triple jump competition. Will much change? Well, you just know as an athlete, you save your best till last. The chances of you really bumping your way up the leaderboard and actually staying there, you know, the chance of the others responding in the last round is awfully slim. We don't usually see much change when it comes to the triple jump in these final rounds. It's a rarity. It's a joy when it does. We have that late drama. 13.65. Well, what a competition for her, Foster Kata. Very, very consistent. And she'll take that 7th place. 13.66, her best. So the sun is pretty much set. The men's 200 meters up next on the track, the final event of the evening. It is great to welcome a world record holder, Wade van Niekerk. Look at that. Maka Charamba then. The Zimbabwean athlete, 1992, at the same university as Tharp, who won the hurdle, and of course Ajayi, who won the 100 as well. So I'll tell you what, Auburn University coming here and sweeping up. That's if Charamba can take the win. Mitchell Blake then, 2060, his season's best. As every colour at a major championships in the 4x1 for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Charamba, 1992. Again, what a season. He is a joy to watch. His final 50, incredible. He's a national record holder, 2nd at the NCAA Championships. Leroy Burrell, of course, is coaching him. Assimi, well, you might have seen him before. Yes, you do. You will recognize him. We saw him in the 100 earlier on today. Wade van Niekerk, he needs no introduction. First man in history to run sub 10, sub 20, and sub 44. What a pleasure to have him here running over 200. His countrymen will go inside him. Karim. This man, 2015, just 20 years of age, so at the opposite stage of his career. Wade van Niekerk. Manunu of France, 21.57. He's going to have to hang in there against this field. We've got the likes of van Niekerk. Charamba for me in fine form. He was 8th at the Olympic Games last year. Charamba over 200. Afumba, right on the inside. Charles Anthony Afumba, 20.57. National record holder. And 4 wins from 4 this year for Afumba. Albeit they haven't all been of the level of this silver meeting here. He hasn't been up against Wade van Niekerk in all of those, but still, when an athlete gets 4 wins from 4 in a season, you've got to take your hat off to them. So then the final event of the evening. Meeting Sotteville reaching its climax with the stars over on the far side. Afumba, Manunu, Karim, van Niekerk, Assimi, Charamba, and Mitchell Blake. Charamba trading that national record with Makarawi of Kentucky University, who won the NCAA 200-meter title in 1984. Charamba was second in 1992. What a battle they had. He had the national record earlier on in the season. Both of them will be looking ahead to that World Championships in Tokyo. But Charamba's got a job to do first here. Can he scout the legend of Van Niekerk? Mitchell Blake is no slouch on the outside either. So away they go, and all of these men wearing that red uniform. The threat's going to come from one of them. It's Seaman with a great start, already up on Charamba. But Charamba's last 100 is a thing of beauty. It's when he comes into his own. Gets around that bend okay. Watch out for Wade Van Niekerk. His countryman Karim is on the inside. Charamba now moving away from the field. Takes it 20.08. It's a meet record, ladies and gentlemen. Alonzo Edwards' record from 2021 goes down. And that makes it 3 for 3 from the Auburn Tigers here at meeting Sotteville. They have came and they have conquered. And what a pleasure to have all of these sprint stars on show here in France. 20.08. He knocks a 1/10 of a second off of that 2018 mark of Alonzo Edwards. And Assimi with a national record in second, 20.23. Karime takes down Van Niekerk by 100th of a second. Master and apprentice. Mitchell Blake is fifth there. Strong showing from him. But look at Charamba. I think these bends seemed to struggle, didn't he? The first sort of 50, 60 meters and looked uncomfortable coming off the bend. Almost like he's just trying to stay in his lane. And then once he gets into his running, boy, the power and the fluidity of his form there. It was never in doubt. As soon as you see him open up that stride and he's in a straight line over the final 60, 50 meters, he's almost unstoppable. There you are, there's the results. Great to see a national record. What a fine afternoon for Assimi. There, Nathaniel Blake, Freedom Manunu, that's the season's best for him. Anthony Afumba, 21-29. Tough lane draw for him. Well, here we go. Shanika Ricketts has only lost once all year. They came in the Oslo Diamond League. She got second there. Can she get back on top here? It would be a shock. Sali Saar leads. 14.41 is that lead mark. And we are waiting to see what Shanika Ricketts has jumped here. Hasn't been at her best. The Olympic silver medalist from Jamaica. But for her, perhaps a tune-up to what is to come throughout the rest of the season. 14.23 in the sixth round. Illegal jump as well. That will cement her place in second. But it won't be good enough. And Sali Saar has taken an absolute scalp here. She will be delighted with that one. An athlete snuck into the Olympic Games last year. Didn't make the final. But just look at her. She's certainly a talent, certainly one for the future. Oh, messing up that last jump there. But irrelevant. Irrelevant when you just take down the Olympic silver medalist in that fashion. You jump 14.41 for a lifetime best. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure. We've seen 3 meet records today at meeting Sotteville here. And confirmation of those women's triple jump results. Sali Saar, Shanika Ricketts, Corvea there in third, Petrova, Filipic, Talos, Foster Katzer, Nielsen, and Sine down there in ninth place. And right on cue. And, well, French athletics just continue to deliver. They constantly put on a show, and we have a few more amazing meetings in France over the next week. Of course, we have the Monaco Diamond League coming up, and then meeting Marseille next weekend as well. Well, this was the Polish man who won earlier on in the day. Mushiglod, 85. It was a meeting record for him, just over 85 meters, you can see. That was the first meeting record of the day. Superb. In the bright sunshine. Well, then we wave goodbye to 5,500 spectators here in the arena. We also wave goodbye to you at home. I've been your commentator, Matt Seddon, and it has been an absolute pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you back here next year and enjoy some of the best bits of tonight's action.
Cérémonie protocolaire. Du meeting de Sotteville et Rouen 2025, des récompenses qui seront remises par M. David Lamiré, accompagné de M. Alexis Ragache, Pascal Perret, Séverine Gest, Jean-François Timmerman, Pierre de Saint et Lionel Claudic. Vainqueur du saut à la perche féminin, 4,63 m aujourd'hui pour elle, représentant la France, Marie-Julie Bonin. Récompensée par M. David Lamiré, vice-président de la métropole Rouen-Normandie, en charge des sports. Elle remporte le triple saut